Hi everyone, thank you for coming to our second Flipped Collaborate, Assessment 2. And I know it's so soon after the other one, but we really need to get going on this because week 5 will come along really quick and we have to set ourselves up into some groups and get thinking about that. So we may as well make a start. This, so in a nutshell, Assessment 2. The weighting is 25% and it's an ongoing assessment. And some people have already expressed a bit of concern and confusion over this, but hopefully I'll explain this in this Flipped Collaborate. So you'll be working in groups. Now, we're looking at a lot of issues in the teaching and assessment of English. So this is an opportunity for you to discuss and debate and be a part of a collaborative team, which is what happens in a primary school setting or any teaching setting. You're part of a collaborative team and you plan and you discuss and you debate and you work out things together. So that's what this assessment's all about, is working as part of a team. Okay, so weeks 6 to 10 are devoted to group discussion, and that you will not need to hand anything in. The whole assessment is me observing and watching what you're doing on the discussion board, and I take notes of everything you write. I count how many posts you make. I make notes on how effective and meaningful your contributions are, whether you have contributed to the team enough, and if they're relevant, and also if you've referenced. So the whole time that you're doing this assessment, I won't be involved in the discussion, but I will be watching and taking notes the whole time. And I do put little, on the front page of our forum, I do tend to write little things of encouragement or little reminders just in case I think that you're not quite on the right track. Okay, so basically there's 2 components to this assessment task. The first one is a team. Where does that come from? The first one is a team, working in a team. What's going on here? Okay, sorry about that. We had a little interruption there. I've sorted that out. So where was I up to? Okay, so the first part of the assessment task is working in a team to facilitate a discussion. And that you'll be marked as a team. Okay, so you need to work together because one person, if they don't pull their weight, they'll bring the rest down. So it's important that you all do your part. So it's a big team mark effort. And the second one is ongoing participation and contribution to discussions facilitated by others. So the week that is not your focus week, you will need to post at least 3 meaningful, purposeful, relevant contributions into other people's discussion. Okay, and I will be there recording it, reading it, taking notes, ready to mark you at the end of the whole thing. So the criterion. So basically we want you to understand the issues and practices related to English teaching in the primary classroom. And the application of logical, creative, or critical thinking in the communication of ideas in the understanding the topics of discussion. So you need to show that you can be creative in the way you think, that you're able to communicate your ideas, okay, and you understand what we're talking about. Number 3, the effectiveness of your contributions. So you may use questioning to extend others' thinking. And your thoroughness and the clarity and your depth of your responses. Okay, how much have you researched in this? How deep is your thinking? Okay, so you need to show that you have a full understanding of what you're talking about, and you need to be able to help other people understand what you're talking about and to extend their own thinking and encourage them to start thinking deeper as well. Number 4, your professional language and literacy skills. As always, we'll be looking at your spelling and your grammar. During this time, you will be assessed on that as well. So that's part of the on the rubric. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're still using academic quality writing. Teamwork. Now this is a huge part of this assessment. So you'll be working with a team, and the team will work together to discuss what your topic is and what it needs to include, what you need to include this. Okay, so I'll be on the sidelines during this time, and as I said, be taking notes. I will put little messages on the front of the forum if I don't think you're on the right track, or of encouragement. So this part of the assessment is worth 50%. So please make sure you work well and you do your part in the group. Okay, so you'll have teams of 6, your discussion team, and you'll all have a job to do, a particular job to do, and we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so what we'll do is I will set up the wiki. I'm having trouble with that at the moment. There is a big, there's an error on it, and I've referred that to IT. So hopefully when we get that fixed up, I'll let you know. By the end of week 4, I would like you to have your group set up and you'll be allocated into a team. If you're not in a team by then, I will allocate you a team. So within your team, it's your jobs to work out the deadlines, how you intend to communicate. You don't need to stay on the wiki. You can communicate via email, you can communicate via Google Docs, you can communicate via Facebook. It's up to you and whatever suits everybody in the team. Okay, and you also need to facilitate your roles. Pick who's having what. Okay, so these are the topics that we will be discussing over the weeks. So week 6 will be defining balance in a contemporary English classroom. Alright, so making sure our literacy program is balanced. Are we making sure that we're covering everything? Week 7, teaching of reading. Okay, so you need to discuss reading, how we teach reading. Week 8, teaching of spelling. So this week we'll be discussing the teaching of spelling. Okay, so week 9, you'll be discussing identifying and working with literary texts. Okay, and week 10, assessing reading and writing. So looking at the assessment involved in reading and writing. So each person needs to adopt a role in the discussion group. Okay, so choosing a role, everybody has a different function. So one person will be providing the momentum, keeping the conversation going. Someone else might take on the structure and the diversity, making sure that that's a well-rounded discussion. So a little hint here, read the information on setting up teams under Assessment 2, group discussion contributions, and setting up your discussion teams. Now, I don't know why, but it has done it again. We're missing a slide. Goodness me. Just see the next one's here. It doesn't look like any, hang on. Right, that's no good. I'm going to have to just go into the PowerPoint myself. Let's have a look. Alright, so the next slide, not sure why my computer keeps doing this. It's not good. Okay, so that's the team one. Choose a week. Okay, so the first role, the director. The director's role is to introduce the discussion, lead the conversation, and keep the discussions going. Okay, so the director will be the person who leads the conversation. You introduce, you're the first person to post. You're the person that links things together. You keep it going. If you see a lull in the conversation, it's your job to keep it going. The next role is the connector. And with the connector, it's your job to connect the discussion to the readings, the texts, and other experiences, stories in the media. So you need to find examples. Connect your topic to various readings, various texts, other experiences, and stories in the media. The next role is the questioner. And if you're the questioner, you need to ask at least 3 really good questions that challenge and extend the discussion, that make it a better discussion. Okay, the other role is a resourcer. The resourcer needs to provide resources or links to existing resources related to the professional context. So you need to find resources and link it to your topic. Provide resources for your group members that could be handy to use relating to the topic. We then have the illustrator, and it's the illustrator's job to present at least 3 visual representations of ideas being developed through the discussion. So finding visual aids that help. These visual aids could be a graph, it could be just a meme, it could be a cartoon. So you need to find 3 visual representations. And the final one is the summarizer. The summarizer's role is to give a summary of what occurred in the discussion. So you basically sum the whole thing up. And just go over the key points that were in the whole discussion. Now I would like the summarizer to also put the reference list on the end. So everybody in the group will need to give the summarizer, send their references to the summarizer. So it's important that once you do an in-text reference, then you need to give your reference list to the summarizer so they can then make a list of this. Okay. So let's just see if we've got these slides back again. Just going back this way. Where does it stop? Okay. So they're the roles